Your first point of contact when you start editing pictures is likely to be light and exposure. If I select a picture and either double-click it or press the D key, I go into detail mode. And this is where I can start to make edits to my picture. Now the main edit section here deals with various different aspects of light and other criteria. There's an auto button, and this will make Lightroom make an educated guess as to what the light in the picture should be like. So if I press that, I think that's guessed a little bit too light. So I might want to just undo that using Command or Control Z to go back to where it was. If I move the exposure slider, I'm able to go up in small increments of increased exposure, or down in fact, but this picture needs more. I can also increase the contrast between the light and dark elements of the picture, which generally serves to make the pictures more punchy. If I drop the contrast lower, picture becomes a little more bland and hazy. So I'm going to just punch it up a bit by raising the contrast. I might push the exposure a little bit further as well. By using the highlight slider, I can affect only the higher frequencies of light inside the picture. So if I pull this up, I will increase the lightness of the highlights. Similarly, if I lower it down, I can decrease the highlights. Same with the shadows, so I could pull the shadows down to make the image more moody. I could pull them up to brighten the shadows. Again, with the whites, I can pull up the white parts of the light or drop them down to make it darker. And I can do the same with the black parts of the light. So I could make them dark and moody like that, or I can pull them up. So this is always a case of just judging what you think is best for any given picture. If you hold down the Shift key, you're able to make Lightroom guess at what it thinks each of these individual settings should be. Just like we did with the auto button, which did them all at once, you could say, okay, I maybe want it to just guess what the highlights should be. So if I hold down the Shift key, compress auto highlights, and then of course I can still manually change them as well. If I move the mouse over the word, I can then reset any of these back to 0, which is a little bit quicker than manually trying to drag it yourself. For any of these, of course, you can also enter a numeric value as well. So I could say, put 30 to boost them a bit. You will probably be okay using the sliders for this because they're quite intuitive.